Hey everybody, this is the superstar Bill Martell, and right now you're listening to the FTW podcast.
Are you surprised that there wasn't any Pilgrims and Indians thing on TNA that they could butcher? Like something like horribly offensive that would just be like, this was a terrible idea?
That's fucking racist, man.
That's exactly it. I was totally expecting it to happen. I figured Hogan would be in there with Bischoff. I think it'd be funny as hell.
I think rightfully for TNA, fuck comparison.
Alright everybody, welcome to the FTW podcast, the wrestling world in all its laughable glory. My name is Harrison, and with me as always is Joe. Say hello, Joe.
Hashtag heel.
Kevin, say hello, Kevin.
What's going on?
And Rob, say hello, Rob.
Hey.
Tonight's show is episode number... Kevin, are you playing Skyrim right now?
I wish.
Tonight is episode number 90. It was recorded on November 29th, 2011. And we're going to start off with last week's question of the week, which is, how do you solve a problem like John Cena? Nobody mentioned anything about the Sound of Music reference. That's fine. I'm not, too hurt about that. Basically, a lot of people were saying turn him heel. Sean said it. Scott said it. Basically, the problem is, it seems like everybody wants to, they all want to change. They don't want the same thing. And it seems like the big change is with the booking and not with the character. I mean, do you guys agree with that?
To an extent. I mean, I think that the character, maybe it's the PG thing, I don't know. He needs a new edge. There's something about the character itself needs to change. And with it, the booking.
I think they actually got off to a good start this week by not having him at the end of the show. They had him at the very beginning for a 10-minute segment with Piper, and then nothing. Then no Cena. Maybe this will continue. I think maybe they're doing the right thing, and maybe they're getting the message that people are fed up with him and they need to move him back. So
that's what I was. So you guys think that they are getting the message that this is WWE kind of reacting to that? Because
I'm not saying they are. Because 1 week could just be an aberration, but if I see this continue, I will say they're getting the message because it seems to work. You have a guy who's carrying the company in Punk right now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not like they're filtering out all the booze anymore.
No, it's true. Yeah, I mean, they are letting them through.
Overwhelming the cheers in a lot of places.
Do want to point out two things. One, Judas brought up a really good point that he was in the ring with The Rock and they were at Madison Square Garden. So, you got kind of like the I'm a true wrestling fan type of thing turned up to 11 at MSG, so there is that. Nicholas brought up something I wanted to see what you guys thought of. Punk is beating him for t-shirt sales, and Ryder's closing in. If you had to make a heel turn, do you think this is the time to do it?
Oh, definitely. There's no question. I don't think they will. Because I don't think they want to destroy the superhero persona. But if there's ever a time, it's now.
Okay.
I mean, the T-shirt sales, I think, are in essence expected. People shelled out X amount of dollars for his first one. Then they turned it purple, and now they've gone out with this new one. I mean,
yeah,
you can't expect that to continue forever.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, then let's get started with some Impact Wrestling. Good thoughts, guys. Rob, what was your favorite thing about Impact?
When it was over.
Okay, that works for me.
Rob. Come on. Favorite thing about Impact? Winner by thigh highs, buddy. I mean, come on.
Yeah, how was the lingerie match?
Yeah. The lingerie match was exactly as advertised. A very cheap, poor knockoff of the WWE-style lingerie matches.
Who was damp, Rob? That's the question. Who was damp? Moist.
I hate the word moist.
Yes, another person who hates that word.
It's an ugly word.
So many people hate that word.
Moist.
Okay, slathered, foaming, whatever.
Whatever.
Harrison's girl Winter looked pretty damn hot, but the rest of them, I don't know. It was just really hard for me to get into.
See, the problem is, it's like, you want to take it seriously. Okay, look, I want to take it seriously. I want to look at this and say this is objectifying women, and then I look at the trade chat. I look at our chat, and I see what Joe and Kevin are doing right now on video that nobody else can see. And I realize this is who's buying wrestling T-shirts. So maybe TNA's onto something. And if these girls, there's nothing wrong with flaunting with what you got, and obviously they know what they got, and I got two guys in the video chat right now who are definitely buying, so good on them.
I'm not buying the T-shirts, but Harrison, you make a good point. I'm literally just joking around, but
oh, I'm sure you are.
It's did it get more attention because they had that type of match? Maybe. I don't know.
Well, isn't it like a real?
Damn good. I'm a big fan of White Hot, so I was like.
Well, isn't it though a real life contradiction for Gail Kim? She left WWE. I don't want to say for this reason, but
well, she wasn't in the match.
Well, still though, she left to come to TNA.
She's still involved with this.
She left to come to TNA to be a knockout because she says they're more respected.
I didn't take wrestling more serious.
That's kind of the big problem I had with the lingerie match. I'm watching the lingerie match, and I'm like, what is this? The WWE now?
WWE from the mid '90s.
If I had to pick a moment of the night, it would have to be the turkey suit match.
I was going to say, why was that not main event?
that I just laughed my ass off at that. That was actually a unique concept that I've seen. Okay, here's a match, and when you lose the match, you have to wear this stupid fucking turkey suit.
Our producer Garvin says Rob Terry's boobs were awfully distracting.
And that combined with the fact that they actually let Eric Young use the pile driver.
Yeah.
Impressed me because Eric Young, he's got a pile driver that'll break your neck if he screws up.
Yeah, I know he's kind of been using the pile driver, but I am really surprised that they're still going with it. Do you think that's to be kind of edgy? Do you think that's what they're thinking? Like, it's sort of like the acceptable chair shot to the head?
Well, I think what it is kind of like what the WWE said. No pile drivers unless you happen to be the King or the Undertaker. I think they're looking at Eric Young, and Eric Young's used the pile driver almost his entire career, so they're like, okay, you know how to do it. This is the same company that had the Canadian Destroyer, which is a flip pile driver move.
Yeah, that's true.
So they're not afraid to use some of the moves that the WWE will ban if the wrestlers demonstrate that they know what they're doing.
Okay, that's fair enough. Any thoughts on Impact before we move on?
The elimination match should have been much, much better. With the people they had involved, they should have done much, much better. I was really disappointed.
Especially with Christopher Daniels and AJ.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys thought, but to me, the elimination match...
Stab.
Yeah, pretty much.
What about the music at the end of Impact? The suspense music? A little over the top?
Yeah, it was a little over the top, and it's like, okay, what? You're ending on a suspense note so that next week you can come out and beat the shit out of each other again? Come on.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay, cool. So I'll move on to Superstars. Some people cried out in yearning for us to discuss this show. So, real quick, A-Rye and Tyson Kidd got buried. Moving on, it's time to talk about SmackDown. Nothing. Okay, the only thing of remote interest about Superstars was that DiBiase and McIntyre got 13 minutes for a match. Which
is awesome.
On an hour show.
It's awesome. Because at least half that show is recap and filler from the other shows.
So if you don't have time to watch 3 hours of wrestling...
There you go. You can watch the B team.
You can watch the B team, recap the A team.
Well, if you look, Ted DiBiase beat beat Drew McIntyre. Michael McGillicuddy beat Alex Riley. Jinder Mahal beat Trent Barretta, and then Ezekiel Jackson beat Tyson Kidd.
But wasn't Superstars like all matches this week? I don't think they had any filler.
They always have filler because they got to recap what happened to Cena. And then they got to recap what happened to Alberto Del Rio.
Yeah, if you don't want to
sit through
show
Mark Henry.
If you don't want to sit through a 15, 20-minute Triple H promo, you'll get the Cliff Notes 9 times out of 10 on Superstars.
Superstars, Cliff Notes Theater of the WWE.
Bingo.
And if you don't want to sit through that, you're also insane.
Okay, so really though, I mean, anything you want to walk away from, DiBiase McIntyre, I mean, that was kind of okay. Big Zeke over Tyson Kidd.
Good to see he's still going strong.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, well, hey, you guys still got jobs. Awesome. I mean, really, there's not a single person on here that I wouldn't want to be in the WWE and that I think is, has
Mike
talent.
McGillicuddy versus A-Rai. That one's like that's like green calling the pot green.
Well, see, Michael McGillicuddy allows us to have that joke, and A-Rai allows him to have somebody to face on Superstars. So that was our Superstars recap. Now you know why we don't talk about this show. It's okay. The reason why we don't talk about Superstars primarily is because nothing new happens on the show. All the stuff that's new that has to do with the WWE or TNA in large happened on their A shows. That's why we also don't talk about TNA's B show in England.
So guys, listeners, here's the deal. If you want us to continue to cover Superstars or to cover Superstars,
NXT,
what do you want what do you want out of those shows?
Yeah.
What are you looking for to be reviewed?
Because
that'll help us help you.
I mean, I mean, it'd be different if like the thing with NXT, if it wasn't so semi-reality show gimmicky, it would be nice to be able to say, hey, this guy's the next breakout. But that's not how it is. Like, the winner of NXT is picked out before they even do that season. So, I don't know. So, all right. You ready to talk about SmackDown?
Let's do it.
Woo! Favorite thing about SmackDown, Joe?
My favorite thing about SmackDown is fucking Daniel Bryan. Cashes in Money in the Bank after Big Show KOs Mark Henry. So the show starts off with Mark Henry at the crutch, talking about Survivor Series, and he's still a champion, and he wants to compete tonight, but he's not cleared to wrestle. And he says he didn't kick Show in the nuts, he kicked him in the knee. And they keep talking about their private places and kicking him there. It sounded like a very bad afternoon special where somebody got touched in the junk. But then Show KOs Mark Henry. Daniel Bryan runs the ring, cashes in Money in the Bank, takes a good 20-30 seconds to flip Henry over to pin him.
Yeah.
And then he wins the title. But because Mark Henry is not cleared to wrestle, Teddy Long reverses it, hands back the briefcase, and then offers Daniel Bryan a consolatory spot in a fatal four-way match to determine who's facing Mark Henry in a steel cage match, actually tonight as we're recording this show.
Yeah.
On a live SmackDown. I love the way they're handling Daniel Bryan throughout this whole thing. The main event with the fatal four-way, I'm just going to skip everything else. I'll head back to it. Daniel Bryan beat Cody Rhodes, Wade Barrett, and Randy Orton to become the number one contender and will face Mark Henry in a steel cage match. Yes. Even if he loses it, it's still good. They're giving some momentum behind Daniel Bryan. We know the guy's talented in the ring. He's really starting to show some style on the mic. And they're really starting to build a character, which they need to do, even if they're going to head toward this. Will he cash it in at WrestleMania? Mm-hmm. If they're going to be doing that, which seems to be what they're doing, this is what they need. This is they're doing a good job. What else? Hunico beat Justin Gabriel. I think Gabriel carried him in that match. Ted DiBiase got the squash on Ginger. Heath Slater, not Sheamus. Sheamus and Zack Ryder beat Jack Swagger and Dolph Ziggler. I don't know about you guys, but I thought that was quite an entertaining match. Zack Ryder's still showing that he can do good work. Yeah, maybe the slow build is good for him.
Yeah, I really do think that the slow build was good, but really, I'm seeing Dolph Ziggler and the guy's glowing red hot, and I'm just seeing a lack of direction for him. And it's like, it's sometimes frustrating. It's like, just set the guy loose, you know?
Well, I think at this point, Ziggler's out of the four guys there, Ziggler's obviously the best guy.
Yeah. Which is weird, considering Sheamus was in that match.
Yeah, but Jack Swagger's a former World Heavyweight Champion. Sheamus is a former WWE Champion. The only guy who hasn't held singles gold in that is Zack Ryder.
Well, the Internet Championship. But yeah, you do have a point.
No, okay, Internet Championship aside, because he just made that and it's his. Legit title. He's the only one who doesn't have a legit title.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler's on his way up. Sheamus and Swagger's still, he's trying to pull an upswing and it's not working. I think
So-
Dolph Ziggler. Well, go ahead.
Do you think that the U.S. title's holding Ziggles down then? And do you see him kind of passing it down to Ryder, possibly by WrestleMania? So that way...
I think by the end of WrestleMania, Ziggler will have passed the title onto somebody.
Do you see that being Ryder?
Possibly. I think they still have more work to do with Zack Ryder.
Well, then-
As big of a Zack Ryder fan as I am,
The biggest. Well, then who would you see rather have it?
that's a good question. Right now, I don't know.
See? That's what I'm thinking. I mean, it's SmackDown. They got a real dearth of mid-card face talent.
See, to me, it's not even that. I mean, you could put it on anybody if you do it in like a triple threat or a fatal four-way. You just have to. It has to be a well-worked match.
I don't know. I mean, I look at...
I mean, even if somebody came and took out Ziggler during the match, like if you're gonna have Sheamus be the next guy, to help elevate Ziggler,
Yeah.
Sheamus comes down and takes out Ziggler in a triple threat. That way, it's not a DQ, and somebody else can pick up the win and take the title.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Then
I think
Ziggler's on his way.
I think that's the way they're going to have to go, because I don't think they're ready to put it on Ryder, and they have heels who they could put it on without question. I'm with you. I think you're right.
Yeah, Joe, I think you're right on that one, just because of the lack of faces. Okay, cool. Anything... SmackDown, move on?
Let's move on, man.
All right, time to talk about Raw. I'm not even going to do that one. All right, so Roddy Piper was on Raw, and it was awesome.
Correct. Great way to start out Raw to have Piper spit right off the top. I thought the promo was pretty good. I'm interested to see if they keep doing this and how they're going to go with this. I think it's a good idea because it's something that WWE has to confront. And like I talked about earlier, they obviously, maybe they are getting the message. I don't want to say definitively yes yet, but they took him away and they put him at the beginning of the show for 10 minutes and you didn't see him again. I mean, you can't have Cena off camera unless you want to give him an extended vacation. And to do that, you're going to have to come up with some sort of excuse. Like I did with Stone Cold where they ran him over with the car so he could have the neck surgery.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't take Cena away and not give something for the storyline. But if they want to start putting him at the beginning of the show or the middle of the show and not always at the end of the show, maybe they're getting the message, and I think that's a good start. We'll see if it continues. You guys talked about it on SmackDown, and I'm going to echo sentiments. Dolph Ziggler absolutely carried Orton. I mean, it was absurd. And, it seems... Here's the problem, though. So Dolph, I said it. He's ready, and they need to do it. But now all of a sudden they're trying another gimmick change with him. They have new music, and they're doing kind of a show-off angle, which seemed to be okay.
The show-off thing works for him. It's the music that sucks dick.
I agree, because the persona himself seems good. It seems like something that could work for him. But, they seem to keep trying this hard rock, Nickelback music for the guy. Every time they do this, why not try something else? But I don't know. I'm interested to see if this works. I didn't think I Am Perfection was that bad. This seems like a little bit of a tweak to that. So, I mean, the guy's ready. Orton sucked that whole match. And, I'm just like Ziggler's carrying him the whole time.
Yeah.
And, I liked Wade Barrett and the interference. I thought that was good. And, obviously Ziggler gets to win. So that, I thought that was a good way to go. So, looks like we've seen Morrison for probably the last time as he gets his leg just beat the hell out of him and The Miz buries him. Kudos to the camera guys in the Miz promo. I thought that was really well done. I thought the promo, The Miz himself was good, but the way they got right up in his face and they did that in the way that The Miz sold it. But I give a lot of credit to the camera guys for really doing good work there. And, it sounds, it's such a small part of things, but I thought that it was a good thing to do. And particularly he says first it was R-Truth, now John Morrison, who's next? So interesting to see there. And then Punk and Del Rio was a pretty good match. They're doing pretty good work. I mean, it's not anything phenomenal, but it's pretty good. And I think better than what we've seen in the title picture lately. So, I hope they keep it on Punk for a while and ride with this. I really do, because he is the best in the world. Move Cena back, get him out of the title picture for a little while, maybe let him rest his body for a little bit. I'm very interested to see more than anything where they go with that, and I hope they keep it going.
Okay.
I love that Punk hit Rodriguez with the go to sleep after the match. That was my moment of the night, right up there. It was right up there with Piper, because I'm a huge Roddy Piper fan. So those two segments were my moments of the night.
Okay. Here's one question for you, Kevin. Zack Ryder versus Jack Swagger. What did you think of that match? Do you think it was a good match, bad match?
I thought it was lackluster.
Okay.
Swagger has not been impressing me at all lately, and I was kind of a fan for a while. I don't know if he's. I mean, I thought pairing him with Vicky Guerrero would be a good thing for him. He's not. I don't think he's doing very good work right now. I mean, Ryder's doing well, and obviously he's really over. I thought it was. I didn't think it was a very good match personally.
See, I think they had a couple botches in it, but I thought the two guys were working well together. I just don't think that they're, with Jack Swagger. There we go, Jack Swagger. With Jack Swagger, not being on an upswing, he seems to be in a rut, and with Zack Ryder seeming a little more green than a lot of the other guys, when dealing with the spotlight that he's got, I think I think it was a little rough. And then there was the weird botch where Swagger went for the Swagger bomb, and Ryder had his arm sticking out, so he kind of redid it.
Yeah, it was bad.
But I mean, my thing is like, okay, yeah, the Ryder should have had his arm in, but Swagger should have been. He had enough time because he stopped and then did the run. He should have noticed that arm was not up.
Yeah.
But it's on both those guys. I think they could have something going forward. Who knows? Maybe even between the two of them for the U.S. title.
Okay. Two questions. One, do you think that the way Morrison's match was handled was a good way of getting rid of him?
I think so.
I do. It takes him out. People would expect him to be injured, and then he just doesn't come back. Makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the way they did it, it showed Miz as an aggressive heel. It put Miz over well, for the next step that Miz is taking. But John Morrison also seemed strong in that match when he did started getting his offense in. So it does open the door for a slight return. They're not burying him exactly.
Good point.
Okay. The other question I had is, on Twitter we asked our fans to see who they wanted to see champ at the end of Raw, and it came back really, really mixed. It seemed like 50% ADR, 50% of Punk, which is kind of strange, because wouldn't you think it would be more Punk? I mean, do you see this as a sign that ADR is getting over more on some of the fans, and that he's actually deserving of the title?
I'm surprised by that. I was really bored with ADR as champ. I didn't like him. It just seemed the same thing of... He beat somebody and put him in the cross arm breaker, for extended amount of time, and then look mean. I didn't like him as champ. So, but hey, if other people did, that's great. But I am surprised by that response on Twitter.
I can tell you exactly why that response was there, because they did the stipulation of if Punk gets DQ'd, he loses the title, or if he gets himself DQ'd to keep the title, then he loses the title. Because of that stipulation, everybody figured something was going to happen so that there would be a DQ and then ADR would walk home with the title. Or drive home in one of his really expensive cars.
All right, fair enough. Cool things, man. All right, time for main news. It is time for main news, you guys. First item on the docket. This is actually our question of the week, so we're going to toss it to us, and then we're going to toss it to you on Facebook. Mark Henry, the dominant babyface. There's a rumor going around that WWE is actually considering turning Mark Henry face. After they spent months pushing him as a super dominant badass heel, could you really see him switching sides? What do you guys say?
I think so. I could see it, and I'll tell you why. Because you can keep his mentality pretty much the same, but if you just... I mean, they did the same thing with Sheamus. You keep the attitude pretty much the same. You just introduce, like, an even worse heel or something, and just have Mark Henry decide, okay, I'm going to direct my focus to taking you apart or something like that. So I think it's definitely plausible that they could do it. I don't necessarily think it's a good idea. I think right now Mark Henry works well and best as a heel.
That's exactly where I'm at, Rob. I disagree with me seeming that it's feasible. He's doing such great work. I think turning him face completely kills any momentum that he has. I don't see it working. You have come to absolutely fear this guy because he has sold it so well. Why would you mess with that? Why would you change it? Don't. Just keep him as the unstoppable force. The Hall of Pain is great. It is a great idea. I think this would absolutely kill him if they turned him face. I think it would be completely stupid. Do not do it.
Agreed. Kevin, you nailed it. That's
all right.
can't do it.
Well, all right. Follow-up question then. If you had to turn any face to heel or vice versa, who would it be?
Cena. Not even close.
Cena out. No.
Okay, all right.
No.
Cena's the easy one.
Give me a chance. All right. Aside from Cena, Kevin, who apparently can't get subtext as written in the doc, what would you turn? Who would you turn from face to heel and from heel to face?
I didn't say anything. I was exploiting that loophole because she didn't say anything.
Thank you, Bernie Madoff. All right, come on.
Seriously. I would say I would turn the Miz face. I think he's way over. I think that he could be the face of the company at this point. They don't have to. He doesn't need to be, because they have Punk and everything that he's doing, and he's selling 1 million T-shirts right now, and that's all that matters. But if you ask me right now, I think Miz could be turned face and be the face of the company. That would be my choice.
I'd agree with that. I think you could turn the Miz face very easily, especially with the crowd reaction and everything.
Especially when it comes to Cleveland.
Yeah.
Or Parma, WWE. He's from fucking Parma.
No, see, Miz is a great pick. Randy Orton. Randy Orton's my pick.
Oh, come on. He's gone back and forth so many times. It's like he's a confused 15-year-old.
Oh, no, I take that back. He was face once. He was heel. He was face. He was heel forever, and now he's a face again. No, I still think that one's valid because it's been a while.
I don't think so. I don't think you can turn. I think you have to leave Orton alone.
What, Big Zeke? He hasn't really defined himself for very long. So I guess that one's kind of a wash, too.
I would rather, I guess you could say he is kind of a heel because of the whole NXT thing and then the Nexus. So you can kind of say heel. But then,
Ezekiel Jackson wasn't in that.
Well, no, the whole feud with that. And then and then he kind of went face, but then he just dropped off the radar. Honestly, I want to see...
Oh, you're thinking of his stint in Core. Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, stint in Core. I'm sorry. Nexus 2.1. I gotta be honest. You know what I like to see face? ADR. Because I think Del Rio is a really good talent. And I think right now, taking him on the almost pseudo-jingoistic JBL heel is too easy of a heel mark. I want to see him go face because I want to see if he can handle it. Because then we would have, a foreign Mexican face that we'd have to go throughout the entire South and have people cheer for. If he can pull that off, kudos to him. And I honestly think he could.
I bet he could pull it off like Rey Mysterio or Sin Cara could.
Well, Rey Mysterio's from Southern California, and Sin Cara is basically 12-year-old T-shirt bait.
Speaking of T-shirts...
No, because Del Rio comes out, and he has a Spanish-speaking ring announcer. If he can pull all that off, if the only change is you ditch the cars because of JBL, and he went face, I think he could do it, and I think it would be a huge coup. It'd be almost... Well, I guess it would be like...
Okay, honorable mention, Jerry the King Lawler. Turn him heel. Go back to the really skeezy...
Yeah, but that's what Cole's doing right now.
Yeah, well, no, but nobody can scream puppies like Lawler could and still be
puppies!
A heel.
Garvin, you got a point?
Sheamus needs to go back to being a heel.
You don't like face Sheamus?
He is boring, and he isn't getting the best reaction like at all. So I would
He's the
I would
Great
definitely
White.
put him. I would definitely put him as a heel because heel Sheamus was always interesting, and thus far he hasn't really been interesting as a face.
Yeah,
We could always try Jinder Mahal.
I was just about to say that, Garvin. Heel Sheamus was great. Just always coming out and just beating people down for no reason whatsoever.
I like face Sheamus because he enjoys what he does, and now he can show it in the ring, smiling, having fun, and I like seeing that. But anyway, that's going to be our question of the week. It's going to be a two-parter. Mark Henry is the dominant babyface, and who would you turn from face to heel or heel to face? So we're going to throw it up on Facebook. Definitely answer it and let us know, and we'll talk about it next week. John Morrison in the X Division. Yes, John Morrison is unofficially, officially no longer employed by the WWE. Those who think he was awesome say this was a huge mistake by the WWE and that he'll most likely be signed by TNA and made the face of the X Division and save them from obscurity. Do you think it was a huge mistake for WWE to get rid of this guy if he is gone? And do you really think he could be the face of the X Division and save it?
No on both counts. I think that WWE got rid of him because he's got. Aside from personal issues with being with Melina and all that backstage drama that ensues, it goes back to the argument that he performs. He doesn't make it look like a fight.
But that's what the X Division is.
Not necessarily. No, you can still perform and make it look like a fight.
But the exciting part of the X Division is the crazy ass shit they pull off.
But they can still make it look like make it look and give it a fight feel, as opposed to I'm just going to spin as much as I can and flip as much as I can and still land on my feet.
You see a lot of Ultimate X type matches in bars there, do you, Joe, with giant cords hanging across above the bar?
I think that A, this was a huge mistake by the WWE, and B, I think TNA would be a great move for John Morrison, and he could be the face of the X Division, and he could really help him combined with Kazarian and Austin Aries and some of the other great X Division talent that they have there. Yeah, they could definitely move it up, because the problem John Morrison ran into in the WWE was Vince McMahon decided that John Morrison didn't look like he could beat anybody in a fight. So a lot of what we saw in the matches, was geared towards a specific narrative. Vince McMahon didn't think Morrison could beat anybody in a fight, ergo Morrison has to make it look like he can't beat anybody in a fight. If you put him in the X Division where the TNA says, go ahead, be yourself, do what you do, I think he could be awesome.
No, if Morrison were to be able to go back to his ECW era, where he was tagging with The Miz, if he went back to that style, cool. It was great. But I don't think... the TNA's got too many faces that they need to promote more than bringing in yet another WWE guy.
Or girl.
Garv,
you got an opinion?
Well, yeah, I mean, the only issue that I can see is that you look at the X Division now, and Austin Aries, what makes him great isn't just his in-ring work, but it's also what he can do on the mic. So, he has everything. He has the in-ring work on the mic, and he has the it factor. What John Morrison doesn't have is good mic work. He fails as a solo guy on the mic. He was great when he was doing back and forth stuff with The Miz, but one of the biggest criticism of him now is that he's just boring on the mic. He has like the look, he has that good look. He can do good stuff in the ring, but to say that he could save the X Division, I think is a mistake, especially because what really could save the X Division is giving them some TV time. They've only had the X Division on TV like once or twice in the last 2 months.
It's very true, Garvin. He never was very good on the mic, and yeah, that could definitely be a factor. In the long run, I think the WWE is making the right move. I saw great things out of Morrison, and I saw performance angles. So I see both sides where people would think this is a colossal mistake, and people think he should be released. And maybe it will come back to bite him in the ass, but I personally think it's the right move. I want to look at this from a different way as to whether or not he could be the face of the X Division. Would Morrison want to go to the X Division? Does he want to take the kind of high-risk bumps that it's going to take to be in the X Division? Does he possibly want to blade? He doesn't seem like he's that kind of performer. He's that kind of guy in the ring, so that's another thing that we have to ask with him going there. I mean, he was in one ladder match, and I don't think he took any massive falls off the ladder. I mean, I might be wrong, but, I don't think he took huge falls off the ladder. There's just questions that you probably want to ask if he's going to be the face of the X Division, because if he's going to do that, he's going to have to.
Right. But the problem with the mic skills, or the lack thereof, is it's very easy to sign him and send him to Ohio Valley or whatever and get him prepped and ready on the mic skills, get him a more solid character idea. I do agree with Garvin that the X Division as a whole needs more TV time.
Rob, I'm sorry, I got to call you on that one. Wait a second. First off, if that's all you had to do to fix Morrison, why didn't WWE send him to FCW? And the other thing is, do you really see Morrison going to Ohio Valley?
Where's he going to go now that if he's been released from the WWE? He's got
New Japan. New Japan wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, New Japan, he fit perfectly, and that's where MVP went. He wasn't even that amazing.
He went straight to New Japan.
Yeah, his style would fit perfectly there.
Yes, his style would fit perfectly there, but you still also need mic skills in Japan, as far as I'm aware.
I think he can get away with what he's got now, and he could probably build it a little bit better, but I can't see him going to OVW. And if it's just farm, if he just needs farm league time, I'm surprised WWE didn't do that with FCW, like way in the beginning. But, all right.
Why would they invest it? From day one, Vince McMahon was set on John Morrison as he doesn't look like somebody who could win a fight. And when Vince McMahon makes a decision like that, you're screwed.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. All right, so real quick, Chris Masters. Apparently, he's talking on Twitter and YouTube trying to get the IWC to support him in his quest to be signed by TNA. Is it really necessary for him to do that, to get a job in TNA? And do you want to see him in TNA? Just real quick before we move on.
I think, yes, it is necessary because that's the only way he'd get a job in TNA. But no, I do not want to see him in TNA.
Are you a snob all of a sudden, Rob? Are you just... I'm sorry, but the Master Lock simply will not do.
No, I don't see I don't see what he brings to TNA that they don't already have in other wrestlers.
The bear hug.
The bear hug.
Garf?
Yeah, but Rob, you are okay with them bringing in Jomo, who can't work on the mic, yet they have a full roster of people that can do well in the ring but not work on the mic.
Let's be honest, man. Rob, you got to be honest. They bring Jomo in the X Division. Austin Aries is gone. He will get oh yeah, he will be the next Samoa Joe. This amazing talent that everybody says is the next big thing, and then nothing happens to him. And then he pops up on the radar for a little bit for a feud with a big name, and then he's gone. Because then you have a name and a face that everyone recognizes, and you will see Jomo on every poster, in every X Division title match, on every pay-per-view. Yeah, it's gonna. You'll never see.
All right, you guys have persuaded me. I will change my opinion on John Morrison because I think you guys are dead on correct about what would happen to Austin Aries if Morrison comes in.
But Chris Masters, it's just they got better things to put their. Yeah, they got better places to put their money.
And on that note.
And on that note, quick hits!
All right.
All right, guys, it's time for quick hits. For those of you guys new to the show, each one of us is going to get 30 seconds to sound off on a news topic, and if there's time afterwards, we will yell at each other for a little bit and convince Rob that he's wrong, because it's so much fun.
Hey, unlike other people on the show, when I'm wrong, I will admit it.
Yeah, Rob, that is seriously, that's your thing. None of us are going to do that. You're the only one straight up and honorable enough to actually admit that you're wrong when you've been blatantly shown otherwise. I mean, I'll just stamp my feet and cry.
Yeah, you will.
Hell yeah, I will. And I will start an argument, and I will talk my way out of being wrong. Just try me. All right, quick hit. Number 1, John Cena no longer wants to see the spinner belt. It finally happened. John Cena sided with just about every other WWE fan when he went onto Twitter this week and said that he thinks that we should get rid of the spinner belt. So finally, it looks like it might happen. What should the WWE do? Bring back a retro title as they did with the Intercontinental? Maybe make a new title like they did with the Tag Team Championships? Or should they just keep the spinner title so the IWC has something to bitch about? Thoughts? Joe?
I really hope they get rid of the spinner belt. I hate the spinner belt. I think it's a festering piece of dog shit. So the fact that Cena wants to move on from having a PhD in thugonomics and they want to get rid of that damn thing, that would be awesome. Maybe they just do a new title and don't do the spinner, but yeah.
Kevin?
And it's about time somebody got on board on this. What a freaking piece of crap. Why they ever moved away from the Eagle belt blew my mind. One of the possibly one of the stupidest decisions outside of the ring that Vince has ever made. No reason to get away from the Eagle belt. Just go back to that. It's gorgeous. It's timeless. And there was no reason to get rid of it. The spinner belt is so freaking stupid. Just get rid of it. Go back to old school.
Rob?
Yeah, I completely agree with everybody here. The spinner belt needs to go, and it's a good thing that Cena is finally agreeing with just about everybody in the universe on that.
Okay, cool. I gotta be honest. We asked this on Twitter last week, and the overwhelming response was exactly what Kevin said. Bring back the Eagle title that we saw on HBK and Bret Hart. It's being echoed in a bunch of Facebook groups that we're on. Absolutely in agreement. I mean, that was the most beautiful title that they had, and yeah, they totally should bring that back. I don't think they're going to, and at least it's better than the Jeff Hardy spiny belt. Pointy, I will kill you and sow some wheat belt.
That thing is horrid.
Isn't it? It's so
God,
edgy.
that was horrible.
I gotta be honest, of all the new belts that WWE that have been out there, I really like the Divas one, but that's just because I really like the Divas logo. Anyway, on Facebook, our main fans here asked, who would make a better World Heavyweight Champion than WWE's current World Heavyweight Champion, Mark Henry? Daniel Bryan or Wade Barrett? Apparently he's not a big fan of Mark Henry, but regardless, who would make the better champion? Joe?
I'm going to say Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan has the full package. I mean, he can talk, he can work, he's got an interesting look. Wade Barrett's a bit more generic except for the accent.
Okay, cool. Kevin?
Right now, I would say Barrett. And this is not a shot on Daniel Bryan, who I think is doing a really good job. I think Barrett is a little bit more polished in the mic. I think he's a little bit more polished in the ring. And I also think if you're going to have somebody take down Henry, it's a little bit more believable to have a bigger guy than a smaller guy like Daniel Bryan, where he could just get squashed at any second. And like I said, this is no disrespect to Daniel Bryan. He's doing great work. My opinion, just barely, I would take Barrett.
Okay. Kevin. Rob.
Wade Barrett. Just barely over Daniel
Rob.
Wade Barrett, I mean, this was the guy who was like the Emperor Palpatine of the Nexus. He's at times, Wade Barrett comes off as like a young William Regal. And I really dig that about him. And it would be an excellent person for Daniel Bryan to take the title from at a later date. So I think I would go with Wade Barrett as a better world champion.
Okay, here's the thing. When he asked this and I read it on Facebook, I was 100% behind Daniel Bryan, like it was the dumbest question in the world. And then I read what Zahir said. Holy crap. Dude, Wade Barrett all the way. But I think the best line is, Daniel Bryan isn't the greatest at promos, and his in-ring ability is kind of overshadowed where he's portrayed as the underdog. Let's face it, it's going to be a long time before we stop seeing Daniel Bryan as the underdog. I mean, he's going to be the underdog for a long time, and I can't see Gold and think, oh, he's so scrappy. So, dude, Zahir, you totally convinced me, man. Wade Barrett all the way. Also,
wait. I just wanted to interrupt. Rey Mysterio was always the underdog, and he was a pretty good champion, I thought, so.
Yeah, but I can't see. Well, I never really saw Ray as an underdog though. He was always like the man of the people type of thing.
Fair enough.
Okay. Also on Facebook, the silver medal fan, Greg. Sorry, buddy. I shouldn't say that. Greg's been great. Greg, I'm sorry, man. But, dude, Zahir convinced...
Nobody hates other fans like we do.
Look, I gotta give Zahir credit, man. He convinced me in a paragraph to completely flip on an opinion, which you guys can't even do over the course of an entire goddamn show. I'm washing my hands of that one. Anyway, Greg, love you, buddy. But anyway, he asked, assuming Taker will return in WrestleMania 28, which is a really good question, would you be upset if they went with a similar program to last year? You know, basically very little lead up or confrontation prior to the event. He didn't wrestle any matches, and it was all in promos and a couple in-ring segments. What do you guys think? Joe?
I think that's exactly what they're going to have to do. They don't have enough time. They would have needed to start by now to do anything.
You didn't answer the question.
No. No, I don't. I think that's what. No, I'm not upset because that's what they're going to have to do. I mean, it's inevitability.
It's a rehash of last year. You're fine with that?
Yes, it is. It's fine.
Kevin.
Yeah, I'm not. If they do this, I won't be upset. Do I want to see them do this? No. I don't think they have to start right now. I think you could do something from Rumble to WrestleMania. You got 3 months of build-up. I don't see that as a huge problem. Would I be upset? No. Do I want to see it? No. I would like to see more build-up, but I understand it from the WWE's perspective and from Taker needing to rest. So yeah. I won't be upset if it happens.
Okay, Rob.
I agree with pretty much everything that's gone on. I don't have a point to make that hasn't already been made, other than the fact that, oh yeah, I said last week that Taker wasn't coming back, or a couple weeks ago. So I don't think Taker will be debuting at WrestleMania 28. Will be returning at WrestleMania 28. That's that.
Okay. Sorry, you just kind of fell apart there at the end. All right.
I did.
Yeah, it's okay. You got your point across. That's all that matters. I gotta be honest. I was willing to forget it the first time because you're like, all right, you know, Taker's getting old and everything, and you know, I mean, you need to get him promoted. You got to get him WrestleMania somehow. If they do it again, all of a sudden the luster's starting to wear off, and I'm wondering, okay, when are they just going to pull the plug and have Taker retire? Because if he's only showing up for 2 matches a year and there's nothing else besides that, I mean, I got to be like, dude, just sail off to the sunset, man. I mean, take your retirement check and walk. Because, you know, we love you for who you are, and we'll forgive a lot, but our patience is only so thin. All right, time for the indies. Hey, guess who got himself featured on the Royal Rumble poster? Until he's soon to be replaced, is Santino Marella. Santino is the featured superstar of the Royal Rumble poster. Could it be that we'll finally see him as a prominent storyline doing well, or is this WWE's new direction of putting lower-level talent on a pay-per-view poster like they did with Hornswoggle on Money in the Bank? You remember that? Yep. Speaking of the Rumble, they want to go back to 30 men instead of last year's biggest Rumble ever of 40 men. You guys okay with that?
If they're going to give it a lot of time, yeah, sure, that's fine.
That's what I'm worried about. They're not. I'm worried that they'll put it down to...
The Rumble was my favorite thing every year. I absolutely love it. Give it its due and let it have its time.
Yeah, okay. What about Santino? He shaved the stash.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to do anything. It's going to be a while before they do anything with him.
I think so, too.
Jackie is officially gone from TNA. Her contract expired, which happened just 2 weeks after she publicly criticized the company for not using her on TV. Surprise, surprise! Do you see her being picked up in WWE?
No.
Nicholas on Facebook actually suggested that if she shows entirely too much nipple to be shown to be brought back into the PG era, which is fair. There is a certain amount of nipple they will tolerate, and Jackie, I am sorry, but you just use all of the nipple quota available for that is available out there.
Hell, she's using enough nipple quota to wipe out all the guys.
Yeah, like they would have.
And they wrestle without shirts.
Yeah, all the guys are gonna come out in, like man bras or Under Armour and wrestle like that. Dustin versus Cody, Crossroads at WrestleMania. Goldust wants to face Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 28. He started a petition on Twitter, which is where you start petitions that you want to succeed. Anybody else want to see Goldust in WrestleMania 28?
Absolutely not, because Cody needs to be put up because it's somebody that he's really going to work with at WrestleMania with as well as he's been doing. Absolutely not. No.
So the only way to make it work is if it's Cody versus Dustin versus Dusty.
Still, that I definitively don't.
Oh, that would get so confusing listening to the play-by-play of that.
Rhodes hits Rhodes with the Rhodes, and the Rhodes, and the Jello pudding in the Rhodes.
That's the point when I go get another beer.
Well, it tended to be Rhodes versus Goldust, but yeah, it would just be
It's
one of those
still,
things that,
come on.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's interesting. It's an interesting thought experiment.
Fuck it, make it Rhodes versus Relic.
Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Question.
Oh no, it's Black Rain, wasn't it?
No, it was.
What was Dustin
Yes, it was
Rhodes?
Black Rain. It was Black Rain.
Black Rain, my bad.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
We should have had. Man, we should have had Martel on. He would have gotten this one, and he would have told us all about his history and what episode of WWE Magazine he first appeared in, and who else was in it.
I want to know who's got more WWE magazines.
Rock.
Bill Martell or Scotty Primo from DCWA, because he just posted this huge collection on Facebook.
What amazed me about Martel was not that he had collection going back 15 years, but that he could tell us the cover of said magazine.
Oh yeah, he probably had the issue number in his head and just didn't want to be that nerdy.
Just off the top of his head.
I've seen that with limited edition Superman and Batman comics with some fans, but never what was on the cover of Batman 117? Oh, it was a picture of Joker and Harley Quinn throwing a bomb at the Batman. It's such a thing. It was penned by this guy. All right, anyway. Is Jim Ross working us all? We posted a story on our Facebook page that suggested that although we have all read and seemingly agree that Jim Ross is innocently unaware about how he's being treated, is it really logical that this is the case? The basic premise of the story basically questions why anybody would believe JR despite the fact that he's happily employed in an industry mostly based on fiction. So, is Jim Ross working us all? On Facebook, Zahir said he doesn't think JR even cares anymore. Kind of a good point. He's got the crowd behind him, and he's done so many embarrassing things. What's one more thing? I mean, what do you guys think?
I'm dead on with Zahir. I think that he's a legend. Nothing will touch that. He might go down as the best of all time. Yeah, I just don't think he cares, and it's just he's employed, he's making money, and he's just it's close to the end. Who cares? I'm exactly with Zahir. I just don't think he cares.
Okay. Nicholas on Facebook went off topic and basically, instead of talking about JR, he talked about how awful Michael Cole was, which when we asked this question on Twitter is the reaction that we got back. Lately, Michael Cole has been awful. Ever since the whole thing with ever since the match. I'm sorry, the second he threw on a onesie and went in the ring and kind of ambled that little carcass of his around, I was like, I'm sorry, no.
And not giving Lawler his win, yeah. You're exactly right. You could point to that moment as to the downturn.
Yeah, I mean Lawler's first match at WrestleMania. That was a time when we could get together with the WWE and just bridge a gap of fans and producers and go, look, this guy's a legend. Let's do this right, and they didn't. And it's not like they didn't do it right to kind of we didn't do it right. It was just bad all around.
Yep.
Anyway, Rob, real quick, and then we'll move on.
I agree. I mean, Michael Cole's been awful for a long time. I think he's been awful longer than you guys have, but I'm right with you on the WrestleMania thing. You have a legitimate legend in Lawler, and they just turned that thing into a joke.
Okay, cool. Time for win, fail. All right, wins of the week. Joe, your win of the week. Go, Joe.
My win of the week is the Rowdy Piper bit on Raw.
Piper's Pad.
It was cool to see Rowdy Piper again. I'm not one to always say that, but he did an amazingly well job. You could tell he wasn't on anything in previous attempts. He was, you could tell he was really off. So he was clear-minded. He did the segment well. I love the coloring it's giving John Cena and his character and where he's going. It's intriguing. I liked it. It was great.
He did break his neck. He was on painkillers. He was on painkillers because he broke his neck.
Don't put him in the ring if he's on painkillers.
Okay. Don't put him in the ring because he's on painkillers would make for some very boring Monday nights.
Now when he's come on, this was pretty bad. It was like that Scott Hall video where he was on drugs and they dragged him out and he just kind of stumbles out and is like
no.
Last time, yes. This time was a complete 180.
I'm not commenting on this.
I think I got my fail of the week. Rob,
Move on.
Kevin, your win of the week.
My win of the week is moving Cena away from the end of the show. I don't know if it continues, but at least for one night, I think it was a good idea, and I really hope they continue it because I think this is a good step in the right direction for getting Cena back with the fans. I mean, I respect the hell out of Cena. He talked about, I did 3 Make-A-Wishes today. I'm saying hi to the troops. I mean, these are the things that he does that I have the utmost respect for Cena for, and they want him to be the face. You got to do something. So I hope they continue this because I think it will help.
Okay, Rob, your win of the week.
I've got a tie. I agree slightly with Joe, the Roddy Piper segment and that going with Cena. That was awesome. But my win of the week is Eric Young knocking Robbie E. the fuck out in the middle of the ring on Thanksgiving Impact. That was, I mean, I'm always getting down on Robbie E., but he sold that pile driver so well. I mean, it was great.
All right. My win of the week is the Marks Facebook group. These guys have been super awesome with us, and I really appreciate it. We kind of just hey, here's us. We're going to be talking about dick jokes on our podcast for a while. And they've been really, really good, so I do want to give a special shout-out for those guys. All right, so that's my win of the week. Fails of the week. Joe, your fail of the week. Go.
My fail of the week is the fact that, and as much I didn't see it, but just the entire idea of it, the extending of the Jeff Hardy Jeff Jarrett storyline with Jeff Jarrett coming out as Jeff Hardy wearing a mask, and then it's kind of ripping on the entire Enigma, Joe calling him the Enema. It's fucking painful. Stop it, Jeff. Why don't you do some backstage shit instead of being on the camera and wasting our time?
Okay, Kevin, your fail of the week. Go.
My fail of the week is Randy Orton in the Orton-Ziggler match. I just thought he was terrible. He looked slow. He looked bad. I just felt Ziggler carried him, and they're trying to put Ziggler against these main event guys to see what he can do. You saw what happened with Punk last week. Orton's supposed to be main event. Act like it for a guy that's supposed to be getting there. To me, I'm wondering if Orton's not liking the fact that he's not in the title picture right now and he's having to job a little bit to get some of these other guys over. But that's part of the job, man. So get used to it. You need to help these guys out because they're the future.
Rob, your fail of the week. Go.
My fail of the week goes to Joe for stealing my fail of the week. I will quickly improvise. After agreeing completely with Joe, I will quickly improvise and say my fail of the week is the lingerie match that TNA had for their Thanksgiving episode of Impact, which was just god-awful. I mean, no, make it stop. Please make it stop.
Okay. I mean, the slow. I'm picturing you in like a basement somewhere with ratty paint everywhere. Just got you're hugging your legs and rocking back and forth. My fail of the week, man. I got a couple. I don't know which one to choose, but all right. Look, I go on it every week. Johnny Ace. I cannot stand Laurinaitis. This guy, he's not getting better.
What do you mean?
He's not getting better, you guys. He's getting worse. He's just it's like someone gave you rice pudding and you said this tastes like shit, so they added water to it. Stop. Just stop. Look, unless Stephanie McMahon is some kind of weird super villain behind all this is a role she could easily have done. And she would be 1,000 times better.
But she's off playing mom.
Babysit the damn kids. We're talking one night a week where you come out there, bring the kid with you. I don't give a shit. Have the kid do the role. Laurinaitis is terrible. Terrible. Garvin, your fail of the week.
First, on Rob's, that's not as bad as what's coming up, which is another lingerie match this upcoming Impact. It failed the first week, so they're going to do it again, because that's TNA.
Awesome.
Harrison, it's not that Stephanie is watching the kid. It's that she took over WWE.com, so she's actually at the Connecticut office the whole time. So I agree, she'd be better, but that's actually what she's doing, and she's doing a good job if you look at what's happening with WWE.com. So
I'm not saying.
Yeah, I'll give her props because I mean they've been doing a lot of articles lately that's like Bleacher Report type. This is what the WWE should do. Do you think that this is that Cena's getting too much time? They're actually doing articles on that, and that is brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I'm just saying, perfect world, she'd be perfect for this role. But yeah, she's doing very well where she is right now. All right, cool. Remember, our question of the week, we're posting it to Facebook. If you can turn anyone face to heel or vice versa, who would it be? And do you like Mark Henry as a face as opposed to a heel? You can hit that up on Facebook at facebook.com/FTW podcast, twitter.com/FTW podcast, and check us out. Follow us because we live tweet the shows and it's a lot of fun. You can call us at 313-444-FTW4. That's 313-444-3894 if you want to be on the show. Download our iOS and Android apps because they're super cool and they'll get you laid by the opposite or same sex depending how your orientation goes. And you can rate us on iTunes so we can show our parents that we do things that are productive on Tuesday nights. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get the hell out of here?
No.
Turkey. Turkey.